Hey guys! Thanks so much for clicking on today's video. Today we're going to be closing out our October budget by going over our week 4 of our spending, and I'll just show you what we did for the last week and show you how we did overall for October. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, then please stay tuned. If this is your first time watching, hi, my name is Emmy. I am married with 2 children, and this is my family's journey on how we plan to get out of over $200,000 worth of debt. I'm not gonna lie, there's ups, there's downs, but I like to share with you guys our spending habits, savings challenges. I like to check in every now and then, mostly because it helps keep me accountable. So yeah, if that sounds like something that's interesting to you, then please like this video, subscribe, share with your friends, and yeah, we'd love to have you as part of our little community. To all my returning subscribers, thanks so much for coming back. Leave me a comment so I know you stopped by. And without further ado, let's just get right into the budget. So my budget's a little weird. I budget from the 25th to the 25th of every month. And for the month of October, my pay schedule was just a little bit strange, and it just worked out for me to plan out October to end on the 20th. So starting on October 21st, I'm going to begin my November budget. So yeah, I know October isn't quite finished yet, but for us it is. So I wanted to close it out and show you guys how we did. So week 4, if you guys missed my budget with me, you can go ahead and check it out. I'll leave it linked up in the cards up there. Basically, things didn't work according to plan. Surprise, surprise, right? So starting off, we did roll over a lot less than I thought. We used more sinking funds than I thought we were going to. I did not receive a payment from my husband's friend. For those of you who don't know, my husband is planning on taking a trip with his friends. I believe it's in Illinois for a Bands of America National Championship. He's going to be gone for a weekend, and so he had to pay for tickets for the competition as well as an Airbnb, and his friends were just going to pay us back gradually. As of right now, they've only paid us $165, and that was back at like the end of September. And we haven't received anything else since then, and I don't like that. I know it's weird asking for money from friends, but like, you agreed to pay us back, so pay us back. I don't know. Anyway, that's none of my business. But my baking side hustle did really well this month. I'd had quite a few custom orders. For those of you who don't know, I do have a little side business where I bake cookies and cakes and cupcakes for weddings, baby showers, birthdays, anything like that. And I also participated in a craft fair this month, just like I did in September. And that craft fair was very successful. So I take 25% of all of my earnings as part of my take-home pay. So 25% was $126.94. Thought we were going to get our American Express cashback rewards this week, but we actually got it in week 2. So I had to zero that out because we did get it earlier in the month. And other income, my husband let me get some change that was in his car. It was $12.33 worth of change. Ta-da! He had like a gum container that he put all of his change in. He just doesn't like having change in his car, so he's like, aren't you doing some sort of change challenge? I said, yes. So that is going to go towards our penny savings challenge today, and we'll go through that in a minute. So all of that totaled $1,428.45 to work with for this last week. And the only bill that came out was my iCloud subscription for $2.99. This was supposed to come out in week 3, but it didn't, so that's why I didn't budget for it in this week. So if I subtract $2.99 from our income, we're left with $1,425.46. If I move that down to our debt payments, my husband's car payment, minimum payment is $352.13. I was really hoping to make an extra Capital One payment of $200, but we didn't end up doing that this week. We just overspent in a couple of other categories, and I really wanted to stuff different savings challenges. Plus, I already put an extra $219 towards this credit card, so I felt okay not putting another $200 towards it. So all of our debt payments were just the car payment, and we subtract that from what's left over, we have $1,073.33. When I roll that to our expenses, we were left with a certain amount of funds that I wanted us to spend this week, just based on our spending habits. If you missed that video, again, please check it out. But what I did is I had to monitor and adjust, which we tend to do when we budget, right? You take a look at your spending and what is it you have to do to stay within your monthly budget. So normally I budget $280 a week for my family of 4, and that's groceries and eating out for food. But since we overspent several weeks this month, I adjusted what our monthly budget was for food, which is $1,120 for the whole month. And I subtracted what we spent so far from that monthly budget, and then I was left with $166. So it's definitely a lot less than what I normally spend, but check it out. We were able to stay within that goal. So I'm very, very proud of us. We only spent $164.31. So I did the same thing with my allowance and my husband's allowance, just kind of took our monthly goal, subtracted what we've already spent, and then whatever was left over, that's how much we have to play with in week 4. So my husband was only left with $67, but as you can see, definitely went over budget there. I'm not even quite sure what happened, what he spent his money on, but there it is. For me, I was left with $27, and then after I rolled for my dice savings challenge, I really was left with only, I think it was $9 that I had to spend. Yeah, couldn't do it. I definitely spent more than $9. I couldn't do it. I'm sorry, don't come for me. However, you'll see that I did stay within my monthly budget goal. I'll show you that in just a minute. Gas and transportation, we did stay under budget there, and then we spent more sinking funds than I thought we were going to, but we had a sufficient amount of funds to cover that. And then for unbudgeted, my husband had to buy something for his school, and he does get reimbursed for that. Altogether, we spent $831.66, which is a lot less than what I thought we were going to spend. So if I subtract that from what was left over, we have $241.67 left. So you can see why I was a bit hesitant to put $200 towards an extra debt payment, because we had all this other stuff to worry about down here. And this last table is for our savings. We have a save and go account where a percentage of whatever it is we spend from our checking account, Wells Fargo takes that percentage and moves that automatically into our savings account. It's not anything we signed up for, it just happens. So I thought it was going to take $2 out of our checking and move it into savings, but they actually moved $5, which is fine. I like the save and go because it's just a little bit every week where you're not really going to miss it. It's just a little bit of money, and then by the end of the month you're like, wow, I really saved that much unintentionally just because bills came out or whatever. For our penny savings challenge, what I do is I take leftover money from food and leftover money from my allowance up here in the expense categories, and whatever's left over, I put that towards the penny savings challenge. So because I overspent in my allowance, I can't take anything from mine, but we did underspend, or we were under budget for the food category by $1. What was it? $1 something. You'll see in a moment. But if I add that dollar and whatever to the $12.33 and change for my husband's car, we are actually going to put $14.02 into the penny savings challenge. Like I said, I rolled the dice. I have a little 20-sided dice savings challenge where whatever number it lands on, that's how much of my allowance I put away. And so I rolled an 18 for week 4. That's how much I put towards the dice savings challenge. Didn't take home any income from my Etsy business, and I don't expect to take home any income anytime soon because I'm still trying to build that up. By the way, if you guys haven't seen, I do have some new releases over on my Etsy shop, and I am running a 15% off sale all weekend long. So I think this might be your last chance because this video is going live on Sunday. So if you haven't already, check out some of my stickers that I use in all my videos, and these budget sheets that are downloadable and printable for you to use. Yeah, So I'll leave a link in the description for my Etsy shop if you are interested. No pressure. I did decide to put $100 towards a down payment for a new car for me, and then $100 towards my Disney challenge. Yeah, so all of those savings came to $237.02, which leaves us with $4.65 as a little bank buffer. All right, so the first thing I want to do is account for all of these savings challenges. So first, let's do the penny savings challenge, $14.02. So again, I take this from my wallet with whatever money is left over from food and my allowance. So food, we had $1 and some change. $1 and 50, 65, 69. $1.69. Plus the $12.33 change from my husband's car. That is $14.02 that I'm putting towards the penny savings challenge. So let me go ahead and do that. Here's my little jar. Apologies for the noise. All right, all that change stuff is done. For the bills, I put the dollar bills for the penny savings challenge. I have a little envelope in my challenge binder that I put all that in. Oop. So that goes here. I still need to put a little vinyl there so I know what this is for, but I know what it's for. Okay, so that is that done. By the way, this penny savings challenge is something that I downloaded from Rainbow Budgets. She does have a downloadable version and a hard copy that she can mail to you. I'm thinking about getting the hard copy because I want to fit it inside my challenge binder. And what I downloaded was just the regular A4 size that I resized to fit an 8.5 by 11 piece paper. Anyway, so let me get this marker. All right, we have $14.02 that we can put towards. The next box is $3.54. Then I have $3.53. I have $3.52. And then I'm left with $3.43, which is here. A lot of people have said that the penny savings challenge is a slow burner, and I can definitely see why, but I don't mind. I mean, some challenges, it's fun to like get them done and, you know, you finally accomplish something, but I don't know. I kind of enjoy this one. I don't mind that it's taking a while. She says now. All right, so I did want to just make sure the rest of my envelopes are empty. They are food, nothing left over. My husband overspent, so nothing left over. I overspent, so nothing left over. I took everything out of gas and transportation and put it all in the back to bank envelope, along with some other stuff too. All empty, ready to stuff again when we start our November budget. By the way, if you guys are interested, I would really like to do a Q&A with you guys since I'm pretty close to 500 subscribers. I can't believe that. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much, everyone. But if there are any burning questions you might have about me, it doesn't even have to be budget related. It could be a bit more personal as long as, you know, I don't reveal too much. I kind of want to stay as anonymous as I can. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments of my November new releases video or in the comment section of this video because I want to answer those questions when I do my November budget setup. Okay, so the last thing I need to do is my Disney challenge. So I do everything for my Disney challenge on my Cube Money app. If you don't know what Cube Money is, it's basically like a bank account that you open. It's a free app you can have, and you can put your money in different categories. So it's almost like digital cash envelopes. And I use them for all of my sinking funds because whenever I spend from my sinking funds, it's usually digital anyway. For example, I have a clothes sinking fund and I usually buy a lot of clothes online. I also have a house sinking fund and I usually buy, things for the house, such as I recently purchased a vacuum cleaner for my house, and that was done off of Amazon during Prime Day. So yeah, since a lot of my spends are online, it just made the most sense to have my sinking funds online and digital. So that also includes some of my challenges and savings. So one of our challenges is the Disney challenge, and it is a challenge that I created myself. So here's our Disney challenge. I thought that with my family of 4, with transportation, the tickets to the park, and the hotel, it would be about $4,000 to go to Disney. I'm hoping that after I check off all of these cute little Mickey heads that we get our $4,000 saved up. And you can see that all of the Mickey heads have like different denominations on there. So like up here it's just $5. So if there's ever a time where I just put a little bit away, but then it gets increasingly more for those those bigger numbers, we can cross those off as well, which is what we're going to do today, because we are putting $100 away towards that Disney challenge, and so that counts as 250s. Slowly but surely, it's coming. All right, so that's how we did for the week. Let me show you guys how we did for the month. And we kind of saw a sneak peek of this earlier, but yeah, let's get into it. Overall income was pretty good. The only adjustment was we took more sinking funds. So basically these are the savings used. Everything out of our sinking fund accounts that we use to spend, we used a lot more than I thought we were going to, and that's basically why our income was more than budgeted, but definitely a good month. If you take a look at all of our bills, most of them came out as expected, with a little bit of variance here and there by a couple of dollars, but nothing too bad. So $897.28 for our bills, and then I subtract that from our income. I move over to our debt payments here. Everything was pretty much as expected, except my extra Capital One credit card payment. I didn't make the extra $200 like I said I was going to, but we still made some good progress towards that debt. So I subtract our debt total from what's left over, and so we're left with $5,977.71. Now here's the kicker. Here's where the overspending happens for us mostly, but take a look at this. It's actually really good. I'm very proud of us. In terms of food for the month, if I budget $280 a week, that comes to $1,120 for the whole month. And we actually stayed under budget overall, because some weeks we were over budget, some weeks we were under, and it just all worked out to where we were under budget by about $2.51. Actually, I think that's right. Yep, $2.51, get me. My husband overspent on his allowance by $71.28. Looking at the spends on the American Express credit card, he's not doing too much of his old habits where he would be going to a gas station or grabbing fast food too many times. It's actually a lot of big purchases that he's making, which is fine. He needs to use his allowance on himself for things that he wants. Like he spent his allowance one week on a Bluetooth speaker that was a reasonably priced item, and it was within his budget for that week. But because of that, he kind of had this idea that, oh, I can spend this much every week, when you really can't, because that spending on top of the fast food he needs to spend, or the little snack he needs for those marching band rehearsal days. Little disclaimer, my husband is a high school band director, and we are in full swing of marching band season. In fact, state finals are next Saturday, and we are just We got a few more rehearsals and then we are done. I can't wait. So anyway, so because of his job, the nature of the rehearsals and the competitions, there are times where he has to spend his allowance on food at the concessions for the competition, or maybe he had a really late rehearsal and he just needs a coffee to keep him awake or something like that. There are times where he needs to spend his allowance on those things, and then paired with a hefty purchase like a Bluetooth speaker, that's where the overspending happens. It's not too bad. I mean, 71.28, yeah, we don't want to be over budget like that as like a habit. But the fact that he's trying, like he's making a conscious effort to stop eating out as much, stop grabbing coffee as much. It was just a couple of bigger ticket items that he purchased that kind of brought him over here. So yeah, I think that he's doing well in terms of trying to break the bad habits. We just need to pay more attention to the price on some of the things that we're buying, which is a very hard habit to break. I must admit, it's something that I also am working on. So that's what this is all about, just transparency and honesty. I'm by no means a budgeting expert, just showing you what's happening. So overall for the month, I get $40 a week. I don't do band rehearsals. I don't go out for work. I don't do any of that. I actually work from home, so I don't give myself as much spending money as I give my husband. So $40 a week for a whole month is $160, and I stayed within that budget. Good job, me. I'm planning on doing better next month, and I will show you my plan for that in the next video. For gas and transportation, I don't know, guys. Like 1 minute, the prices are so ridiculous and I feel like I have to budget so much money. And then the next minute, gas drops, or maybe we don't travel as much. And so I can't seem to find the sweet spot of how much I should be budgeting for gas. But I'm going to give it another try in November and we'll see if I budgeted the right amount. But we significantly were under budget for gas, which is great. I'd rather be under than over. And some of that kind of covers my husband's overspend here anyway. And last but not least, sinking funds. We spent a lot of our savings, our sinking fund savings this month, but it's fine. I usually budget that we spend about $1,000 a month, and I upped it to $1,200 just because my family was going to go to the state fair this month, and I thought $200 extra for that occasion, plus what we normally would spend. But we actually spent a lot more than that because, like I said, I made a purchase for my home where we needed a new vacuum. We also spent a lot on my kids, where I bought lots of clothes for them. With October being Halloween, we actually spent almost all of our holiday sinking fund on Halloween costumes, which I'm so excited. My family, we're going to be the monsters from Monsters, Inc. So my son, who is 6, he is going to be Mike Wazowski. There's this cute little circle thing that goes on top of his body, and so his head is poking out, but his tummy part is the eyeball of Mike Wazowski. It's so cute. And my daughter, who is almost 2, she is Boo, obviously. Put her hair in pigtails. Her costume was actually the cheapest out of everyone's. My husband insisted on an inflatable costume because, I don't know, he really enjoys those inflatable ones. One year, he and my son were characters from Nightmare Before Christmas, and he was the inflatable for Oogie Boogie, while my son was Jack Skellington. But anyway, this year, he is wearing an inflatable Sully, which is super cute. And I am going to be Celia because my son is my googly bear. Maybe some of you don't get that reference if you haven't seen the movie, but anyway, so moving on. So we spent a lot from the sinking funds. All of that was a little tangent, but we did spend a lot from sinking funds this month. As you can see here, we took $1,705.36, but we actually spent $1,712.15. So we had about $7 unaccounted for from our savings that we had to use our bank buffer to pay for, and $7 is no problem. And I believe that category was in personal care, if I'm not mistaken, like a haircut went over or something like that. I don't remember right offhand, but that's not too bad. And then unbudgeted spends were all things for my husband's classroom, which will be reimbursed. And I'm actually a little disappointed because we did have an unbudgeted spend for September for $197.22, and this was supposed to be reimbursed, and we haven't gotten that yet. So we need to get this reimbursement. My husband says he has part of it as a check already, but he keeps leaving it at school. So we need that, and then another $100 on top of that. I'm hoping that we get that back for November's budget. So all of our expenses totaled $3,856.79, which is a lot of money. Subtract that from what's left over, we have $2,120.92 to put towards savings, and we did pretty good. $16 went into our Save and Go account, which is double what I thought was going to go. We ended up putting $28.27 towards the penny savings challenge. That's the most we've ever put at one time, except when I first started the challenge. Dice savings challenge, this is the first time we put money away for a while, and that was $22, and I used the dice savings challenge to make an extra debt payment. We put $1,850 away into our different sinking fund accounts, which is great because we spent a lot. And put $100 towards a down payment for a new car for me, and then $100 towards the Disney challenge. So all of that totaled $2,116.27, which leaves us with $4.65 in our bank buffer, which matches how we ended week 4. So hooray! So that is October's budget, guys. I mean, not too shabby. Definitely one of our better months, I'd say. We didn't have to take anything from our emergency fund. We did some overspending, but we counteracted that, and I'm really proud of this expense box because this is where we tend to go way overboard, and we were under budget in almost every single one of these categories. That's really, really good. I'm proud of the improvements that are happening in that table in particular. So November is going to be a good month because it is going to be a 5-week month and a 3-paycheck month for me, which is going to be awesome. So yeah, I can't wait to set up my November budget with you guys. Again, please leave me any questions in the comment section so I can answer those in a Q&A as I set up my November budget. Thank you so much if you stuck around this long, especially through every tangent that happened. But I love you guys so much. Thank you again for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye.